So anyway, the match was up then. The MxM collection with Rico, Constantino in the corner against the Acclaimed. Oh, how the Acclaimed have lost their acclaim. Now they're on the pre-show, and remember when they were hot and good and yeah.
Who are they going to bring in next to confront Billy Gunn? You think Bart Gunn's available? Like, who are they going to bring in next from 30 years ago to confront Billy Gunn?
On
the pre-show.
Actually, Honky Tonk. Remember? Rockabilly, Honky Tonk.
That's good, yeah.
And Honky Tonk is only, I think, 8 years older than Rico. But look, but Rico comes in, he's bigger than half the fucking roster. He's still got the fucking chest, blah, blah, blah. But boy, howdy, the problem was Rico wasn't working in the match. When he interfered, I got a little tickle out of it because, again, as I said, Rico was an exemplary human being during his time here. But, the model gimmick isn't it embarrassing even for this company? And do you think that they think that because it's so bad WWE-ish that it will get heat from this audience, not realizing that's probably not the best kind of the heat?
Yeah, this is actually literally one of the last Vince McMahon gimmicks, and now it's on AEW TV. When Vince was losing it and producing the worst television of his life and coming up with bad idea after bad idea, this was one of his ideas, and now it's on AEW TV. AEW's pre-show, excuse me.
Yeah, and
this is a selling point for the pay-per-view.
And as I mentioned earlier, they had done the promo right before they started the match where Billy Gunn got the microphone and said, "Hey, we've got our history," or whatever. However, they went into it saying, "You're the one that almost talked me into marrying a guy." And there's people in the crowd that's not as old as when that happened, and it's not like that's been replayed over and over on these modern retrospectives, has it?
No, they've like run.
Is that one of the things that doesn't age well in today's environment?
The tag team that pretended they were gay so they could stage a wedding, and during the wedding, remember they announced that they weren't gay.
Yeah.
Where was it going to go if they? I mean, again, there's no good logical end to any of this.
And what they came up with was they were doing it for publicity because of something or other.
Yeah,
the other thing
they were doing it for publicity. I don't remember why Eric Bischoff was wearing like a wax mask as the priest. What was the reason for him hiding?
He was auditioning for the Vincent Price role in a remake of House of Wax.
Was he behind it? Was that what it was? Was Bischoff as GM or something behind?
Well, I don't know because they don't replay it anymore because every homophobic organization out there would bombard them at this point in time. When's the last time you saw any of that?
He says, "You're the reason I almost married a guy once." If you're in the crowd, you turn to the person next to you like, what did I miss? How did that happen? You're the reason. What did he do?
But you know what? Once again, maybe because they're the smartest of the smart fans, the diest of the diehards, or the hardest of the, well, I can't say that. They're the ones that'll know if anybody does, the AEW audience, right? But it got more of a than a wow type of thing going on.
Any thoughts on the match?
No. Actually, here's the thing. They all went to the floor so Rico could be in the ring and Billy could come up behind him and they have their, face off, and Rico goes for his spin kick, which he had done when he interfered earlier on one of the other guys. And Billy blocks it and gives him the boot and the fame-asser, boom. And out goes Rico, and then the Acclaimed beat one of the models, 1, 2, 3. But that's the thing, as I was referenced earlier, they not only debuted a new manager, I'm sure it's probably a one-off, but a new manager for this team on a pre-show of a pay-per-view that has the smallest possible audience, but then he gets laid out and they lose the match. So what the... Oh,
Christ. He sold that fame-asser good. He took it perfect and he sold it great.
Well, he's an OVW protege, trained by Danny Davis and Rip Rogers and all of the various folks that we had here at the time and overseen and managated by yours truly.
Does he live up there?
No, he went back to Las Vegas, and he still went back to be, I don't think he's been an actual city policeman. I think he's in private security and blah, blah, blah. He once bodyguarded Benny Hinn.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Did he need bodyguard? Were people trying to get the Benny Hinn?
Well, I'm sure somebody smartened up eventually, but no, because Benny Hinn moved in the big circles and needed somebody to clear, just pathways and just make sure.
So maybe this isn't a one-off. Tony is more than willing to fly people around the country to appear on the pre-show. How much is Tony going to offer Rick Martel to appear with these guys?
Maybe they could make him the king of the pre-show. Though he signs a contract to just do the pay-per-view pre-shows.
Before we move on from this real quick, if
Yes.
he had gone up to the main roster at the time where he did, as the Rico from OVW, what do you think his ceiling was? How far do you think he could have gone? What could he have done at that time?
Honestly, as a babyface, he was almost too nice for that era, but he was very athletic and flashy and good looking, so he worked as a territory babyface. But when he switched heel and became the role model, and we played on the fact that he was so fucking perfect and that he had done everything, it was a genetic marvel, and et cetera, and he became snotty about it, that was there was a little bit of what Kurt Angle was doing a fucking year later or whatever in that. And but it's as old as the hills in, wrestling heel presenting, is that you either accept, if a guy's horribly ugly, then play on that, or if he's too good to be true, makes that the Lex Luger, the total package, makes something out of that. So I think Rico, he wasn't going to be, the WWF champion and main event pay-per-view, but I could sit here and go down a list of the people they employed over the years 2000 through 2005 and probably find 30 or 40 at least that he could have not only outperformed, but also been a better quality employee than. Just my personal opinion.